Another question from a follower on my Instagram. They ask, putting needs of your team slash business at least equal to yours, if not more so, for the greater good. Well, I'm gonna say good luck with that shit. so, um, it really comes down to what is the genetic makeup of your team. Do you have people that have the ability to figure things out on their own and they keep asking you for help? Or do you genuinely have people that just need help? And I think that's something we struggle with as team leaders sometimes. There's people that always feel helpless, and a lot of times you just have to help them find that confidence and reassurance that they're able to solve this problem by themselves. Definitely see that in the younger crowd that's a little more green, but it's not that uncommon to see someone that's got 20 years work experience face the same issue. They kind of always want someone to hold their hand. This is where this you're not going to be able to break your time up and get that time to the people that really need it to put their needs first ahead of yours when they're just being kind of needy. And I think every manager struggles with this because everyone's got that person on their team that probably knows the answer, but they got to keep asking for your reassurance. Or, look, man, sometimes you're just going to have to Google the shit and figure it out for yourself. And people don't want to hear that. It's hard to kind of have that tough love anymore. Um, the best team players are the ones that are kind of like sports players. Did you ever hear Michael Jordan complain that his coach was coaching him too hard? You know, they wanted the coach to kind of give him feedback and then they would go implement. Somewhat tougher in today's world. You can't just have that kind of direct shot like, hey, you need to figure this shit out on your own. And I think a lot of times when managers say that, they know the person's capable of doing it. And then the other person's like, well, they don't want to help me. It's like, the thing with being a manager is, I always say you're ready to be a manager when you're able to get all your work done and still help other people. That's one of the keys, right? A lot of people think management is I'm gonna have to stop doing my daily work and I just manage all day. That's not how it works. Not in most organizations. You talk to people in law firms or consulting firms. You still got to bill, and you got to manage and hire and do all these things. So you got to look at your team and put them in buckets. Who is capable of solving their own problems, and then help them realize that they can solve their own problems. If you keep putting their needs first and they're able to help themselves, that's a gigantic waste of time. And who's got time for that shit? We're all busy. Like, we're trying to get 70 hours worth of work done in 40, 50 hours for people that are really on the grind. Then you got the people that need more mentoring. They need coaching. They don't have the answers. They Even if they're able to go find the answers, they're not sure if it's the right answer. And it's a double-edged sword for the employee. You tell them to go solve the problem themselves, and then they try to solve it and they screw it up, and then you get mad at them. You can't get mad at them. You told them to go try to fix it and they tried. You can't expect everyone to fix everything the right way every time. So don't leave your employee or your teammate, for example, holding that bag of I don't want to go bug them because they're going to get mad that I'm asking, and I also don't want to screw it up. I've been in that position when I was in the tech world. It sucks. You're sitting here, and it feels like no matter what you do, you're going to lose. Um, just accept if you're asking someone to go figure the problem out for themselves, and they try to solve it themselves, you're empowering them to solve it themselves. If they screw it up, you're going to have to give them a little leeway, and you're going to have some understanding. Or suck it up and just face the fact that they're going to come ask you for approval to do everything, which is a time suck, but that stops mistakes from happening. At the same time, whoever learns that way, you learn only to do the right thing every time by asking somebody else because you can't figure out how to make the right decision most of the time. So it's a tough call. There's no one way to answer this question. There's no way to say, here's a little formula to make sure I put my teammates first before mine, even though you're held accountable to get all your work done. I think it really comes down to just looking at the makeup of your team and figuring out who you need to empower and who you need to mentor and coach. And those people that can do stuff on their own and they're sucking up your time, you got to set them free and let them just go make decisions. Let them get their work done. Just say, don't bug me right now. You're capable of doing this. Knock it out. Kill it. I trust you. Everyone else, if you coach them and mentor them, you hope over a long enough time frame that you eventually build them up to where they're self-sufficient. And then lastly, what we don't want to really talk about is if you have someone that you put energy into and you're coaching and coaching and coaching and there's no progress made, it's time to cut them loose. I hate to say that, but if you can't keep dumping energy into something that doesn't get better, you did your job as a leader by trying to coach them. You can't expect them to like fix it all overnight. You can't have that expectation. They need to be showing some progress. But if you're dumping time and energy into someone and there's zero progress being made, time to cut that loose. Go find someone else. You might find the equivalent or worse, but you will give yourself a shot at possibly hiring someone better. Last option, last resort, something we don't want to talk about, but if you're managing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people or more, you don't have time to play babysitter all day. Especially when you're hiring people that are supposed to do the job, be able to do the job. If you're hiring a bunch of people that you got to train, different story, right? But nothing's worse than hiring someone they can say that they can do the job and they get there and they can't do the job, and then you try to coach them and they don't get any better, and then you end up looking like the bad person for letting them go. It's just no hard feelings. It just doesn't work out. But that's my 3 solutions for you. If you have any more questions, hit me up on Instagram at JamesPhillip313. Submit your own questions. Send an article over. I'll try to get it on here and drop a couple comments in. But until then, I'm going to catch you on the next one.